On December 15th, Collectors, the parent company to PSA, just acquired Beckett. On collectors.com, it says, Beckett will remain an independent brand within the Collectors family of companies, continuing to operate with its own operations, consumer experience, and standards around grading, marketplace, magazines, and price guide. Collectors will look to enhance Beckett's offering while preserving the ability for hobbyists to choose what is best for every unique item in their collection. This was the statement by Nat Turner. I am pleased to share that the iconic Beckett is joining the Collectors family and will continue to operate as its own independent brand within our portfolio. The first card I ever submitted for grading was to Beckett, and I consider Collectors custodians of this important icon in the hobby. We believe that strong, well-supported brands help grow access to the hobby. Now, Collectors acquired SGC in February 2024 and promised to turn it into a boutique brand. It's like consolidating all the grading companies into one entity. And so they're going to control a huge share of the market. And people are saying it just feels like a monopoly. And I don't blame them for thinking that. In November, PSA graded approximately 605,000 sports cards according to gem rate, followed by CGC 51,000, Beckett 35,000, SGC 34,000, Tag 2,000, for a total of items graded PSA 1.66 million, CGC 425,000, Beckett 74,000, Tag 39,000, SGC 35,000. So Collectors owns PSA, they own Beckett, they own SGC, they own PCGS, which is a coin grading company, they own Card Ladder, they own Wada Games, and get this, there's a full rebrand to PSA Video Games that happened in October 2025. So Collectors owned Wada Games since 2021, and now they're basically just got rid of Wada Games. They're out of business. It's gone. And so if you're an owner of a Wada graded game, you can now submit them to PSA for recasing into the new PSA holders with existing grades transferring over. So this is actually a big deal for video game collectors. Collectors also used to own Long Beach Expo, but I think they just recently sold that. Now, Golden Auctions is now owned by eBay, which they acquired it from Collectors in 2024. So Collectors used to own Golden, now they do not, and it's owned by eBay. I'm going to be honest with you, I was not expecting Collectors to buy Beckett at all. I think it was out of the blue for me. I was expecting like Fanatics or like eBay to buy it. I think it's a pretty huge deal. Now, if we look at Fanatics, they're also a monopoly because they have online stores, retail stores. They have deals with NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, MLS. They have their auction platform. They own Lids, Fanatics Live, which is breaking like Whatnot. They own Tops, Windcraft, and a couple other companies. And what has happened is Panini is rapidly losing all of the license of cards. So like recently they lost to NBA, and we now have the Topps cards that just came out, and then Topps Chrome just came out for NBA basketball. So it's a big deal right now. And NFL, I'm pretty sure will lose its license April 2026. You know, WWE, UFC, I'm not sure what's left. I think soccer's left and NASCAR, maybe college is left. Panini's losing all the licenses. People were saying, will Fanatics buy Panini? Fanatics says they're not going to buy Panini, but who knows what will happen with that. CGC Grading wrote a statement on their social media, and this is from their CEO. It says, yesterday's announcement only reinforces what I've been saying for a while. CGC is the clear choice for collectors. We offer fast turnaround times, consistent grading, the best holders, and great customer service, all done with integrity. CGC is part of the Certified Collectors Group, which has graded more than 100 million collectibles since 1987, including the CGC 9 Superman #1 that recently sold for a world record $9.12 million. We are the world leader in coins, banknotes, comic books, and magazines, and the fastest growing grading service in cards. We not only serve more categories than any other grading service, but also more regions with offices in US, UK, Europe, UAE, and China. In my 25 plus years at the helm of this company, I know that change is inevitable. However, when the world changes around us, we focus on the reason we exist, to protect collectors and dealers by providing accurate and impartial grading services. So this statement, a lot of people actually like this statement by CGC and respected that statement. So CGC is the biggest competition now to collectors. In my opinion, I do not believe CGC will ever sell more or have more of a premium than PSA slabs. I view this the same as going to the grocery store and you see all the different cereals, but in reality, they're all owned by the same company. A lot of foods at the store that we go to are owned by the same companies. And honestly, I was thinking about it. Isn't this the best thing that could have happened to Beckett? Who else could turn around Beckett? They were not doing well. They were losing share in the sports card space to PSA. Collectors is probably the most qualified to turn Beckett grading around. And I think Nat Turner he actually wants Beckett to succeed. And you have to admit that Nat Turner has turned around PSA and they really dominate now in the premiums of the sports card industry. Beckett has things that PSA does not. They have pristine tins and they have that black label tin that commands a huge premium. And they also have subgrades. In my opinion, subgrades are more transparent than the PSA grades because you actually know what's wrong with the card. The subgrade will tell you, was it the corner? Was it the edge? Was it the surface? Was it the centering? So I don't understand why people think Beckett should not do subgrades and just go to the 1 through 10 grading scale. I don't agree with that. I think Beckett should stay with the subgrades because that's what makes them good. That's why people want to use them, because it's more transparent than PSA. Now, with that being said, SGC grading has not, and I repeat, has not become any better since collectors bought it. I don't understand. It's people that submit non-sports cards that I've seen on Facebook. They're not grading a lot of them. They're just rejecting a lot of cards at SGC right now. So I'm not sure what SGC's future is at all. And what's crazy is a congressman, Pat Ryan, wants to investigate collectors' holdings because he's claiming this is an attempt to monopolize trading card grading. So this is pretty crazy that congressman is doing this. Now, after CGC made their statement, TAG also came out with a statement on social media, and a lot of people actually like their statement. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically they're saying they're more transparent with their grading. So I thought that was worth noting. If we look at the highest selling sports cards that are graded, so I'm not going to include this recent $10 million sale because I believe it has not been graded yet, but it'll be in a PSA slab probably. Number 1 right now is the Michael Jordan Kobe Bryant dual logo man autograph, which is in a PSA slab that sold for $12.9 million. And then number 2 is the 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle SGC 9.5, which sold for $12.6 million. Number 3 is a 1909 Honus Wagner in an SGC2 for $7.25 million. And then there's that Babe Ruth. It actually went down in value recently, but it sold for $7.2 million. SGC3, another Honus Wagner SGC3, $6.6 million in an SGC slab. And then I'm pretty sure the highest Beckett sale was a LeBron James Exquisite Collection RPA and a Beckett 9 for $5.2 million. There's also the Patrick Mahomes 1 of 1 in a BGS 8.5 for $4.3 million. Now, Beckett used to be respected more than PSA. I'm trying to remember when that shift happened. I think it was like 2018 maybe is when the shift started to happen. Beckett's also been in some trouble with like grading black labels. But, PSA also, they've all done bad things. Let's just be honest. All of these companies have made mistakes. They've all graded fake cards. They've all done things that we don't like. The time right now to grade your cards, it's looking like 5 to 6 months. Now, Collectors is owned by an investor group led by Nat Turner, alongside D1 Capital Partners and Cohen Private Ventures, which is Steve Cohen. And Steve Cohen is a billionaire owner of the New York Mets and Cohen Private Ventures. I think Nat Turner actually cares about the sports card industry, and I think he's going to turn Beckett around for the better. That's just my opinion. So I'm just going to be positive about it, and I wish the best for all these grading companies. And obviously, it seems like it's a monopoly, but maybe it's really not. At the end of the day, they're just going to stand alone as their own brand. And by the way, I'm not happy with PSA. They really get on my nerves with upcharging on cards and overcharging for shipping and taking forever to get your cards back. PSA is it's like 5 to 6 months right now to get your cards back. And what's funny is Nat Turner, I'm pretty sure, complained about upcharges before he was involved in PSA. But I understand from a business standpoint that it's a good revenue stream. Why would you end it? If people are going to pay for it, why would you end it? And then on top of that, PSA will offer to buy your cards that they graded, then they'll auction it off on their eBay store. So that's a whole other video in itself. People would say that's a huge conflict of interest when you're grading the cards, buying the cards, and selling the cards. But yeah, that is the state of the hobby right now.